What is going on, everyone? Welcome into Shadow Radio. First and foremost, like always, if you're a fan of the paranormal, haunted locations, better yet, traveling and history, we do a ton of that on this channel. Would love to have you guys all a part of the community. It takes 2 seconds of your time to hit that subscribe, hit that like button, make sure your notification bell is on. We greatly appreciate each and every single one of you guys being a part of this community. So with that being said, on Shadow Radio, it's a podcast where we talk a little bit about the experiences we had on investigations. Some of these investigations, from the history to the investigation itself, some of the things we encounter, we talk about and explore the top of the ideas, so to speak. Mama T is going to ask the questions on today's episode, and she's behind the camera. Amanda and myself, we're going to talk a little bit about it. Unfortunately, Trey couldn't make it for the recap, so he is going to be excluded, but we are going to talk about a little bit about Trey and sort of how it was when we investigated with him this last time. So with that, we hope you guys appreciate it. We appreciate you guys, and let's get to this content.
Hi everybody, I'm Mama T. Speaking of Trey, how was it having him back?
Well, first off, having Trey back's awesome. He hasn't been on an episode in a while. It's great having him there. He talked about how he was excited being there, being able to investigate, let alone being able to go to the place we went to. Definitely enjoyed being able to investigate again with him.
Good. What was your favorite part of the investigation?
Well, for me, it was the experience of going there. But like right off the bat, like the lights going off, lighting up, and just seeing and the EVPs, it was fabulous. I loved everything about it.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. The lights going off, intelligent EVPs, like
Yes.
for a place where the history's possibly not even real,
Right.
to having the Seven Sisters Road be more or less, it talked about some of the details we talked about during the history, which, you know, there multiple stories came out of this place, and definitely my favorite part.
Well, that was my number 2 question.
Oh, sorry.
Because I thought that the EVPs were very clear and spot on, and I wanted you to elaborate on them. So
Yeah.
you did that.
Yeah. That's exactly it. Like, you know, and I sort of did tell myself, is it a possibility because there is a cemetery not far from this location?
Yes.
Is it a possibility that someone knows the story? And you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I did think about that a little bit when we were out there, and then afterwards, you know, it makes you question.
For sure.
The motion sensor light went off several times. I seen you test it to make sure that you guys didn't set it off. How close do you have to be to set them off?
It varies. We have 2 different motion sensors that are the circle ones we were using that night. And on the bigger ones, it goes up to like, I think it's like
Like a foot, at least?
anywhere from a foot and a half away. And that's the ones we were using. And so Trey verifies that it wasn't me. And then I verify it wasn't me. And then Amanda verifies the distance
Yeah.
that you have to be in order to actually set it off, because we're like, okay, well, we moved back and forth, it didn't go off, and then all the way out by the field, almost double the distance,
Right.
the light goes off again by where Amanda is, and that really had us like, okay, wow, you know. So we were like, we did try about 30-45 minutes after that to see if we could get anything else to happen in that area, but
Right.
sitting also on the side of the road, there is no parking on Seven Sisters Road.
Right.
So you can't like pull up and just hang out. There's none of that going on. So that's why we had to do a drive-through. And, the motion sensor light, though, is what led us to being like, okay, that's crazy. We're getting some sort of either motion in that area, which we were looking at like the grass line, because the brush was a little bit thicker there. We were making sure that wasn't setting it off before we even started recording. And you can hear me and Trey sort of talking about it during the beginning. I pointed out to Trey, and then Trey's like, yeah, it's not setting off the motion sensor, and so then we verified after it went off whether it was us, and then that's what led us to being like, okay, well, nothing else is really happening other than the motion sensors, you know. Let's go ahead and start our EVP session. And it was a drive-through EVP, so really felt good.
For sure.
After the motion sensor, felt like, okay, interesting, because sort of verified that the distance-wise between Amanda and the motion sensor, and then that second motion sensor going off, I doubled the distance.
Yeah.
In the same general area, and that's where we chose to start, because that was the intersection, the leading up to the Seven Sisters Road intersection. The road going east to west was the Seven Sisters, and we parked on the north to south, and then we turned around and went down the Seven Sisters Road.
Okay. So what kind of a vibe did this put off?
So when we first arrived there, I sort of, it started becoming nighttime. It's getting dark out, and wild animals, stuff like that. You got to be cautious. So you're thinking, okay, well, listen for sounds. Listen, the road itself put off an eerie vibe. Just knowing the history and then seeing how the trees are sort of set up on that road,
Right.
And this eerie-ish type vibe, but at the same time, it's nothing's too spooky,
Yeah, one side has a whole bunch of trees, and then the side that in the beginning with the motion sensor lights, it's not a whole bunch of trees compared to the other end. And for me, it kind of gave off a creepy vibe, but I felt at home there. I was relaxed.
Definitely nothing fearful or anything like that. None of those type of vibes at all. Just attentive. Something trying to get your attention.
Yes, for sure.
There isn't some form of intelligence out there, for sure, based off the EVPs we captured. At one point in time, my name said, Trey's name said, my last name said, our last name said. And it's telling us to look in the field, and the name to, the story. Bring up the story. Try to see if it would verify if it was the brother or the father. Mm-hmm. It says dad. Hung, it says noose at one point in time. Yeah. It says 7.
Yeah.
Almost instantly it says 7, and then it whispers 7. A little bit shortly after that, it whispers 7 again. And I capture it all, but I only put 1 7 there. If you listen carefully, it says 7, and then another number comes through, and then it whispers very lightly 7 again. And I was like, wow. Okay, I heard the first 7, obviously.
Right.
But we didn't hear the others. And it was hard to decipher some of the EVPs because of the exhaust. And my microphone was too close to the actual engine bay, because I had it up on I had the camera up on the dash area. And so the microphone was actually plugged into the camera, and the camera was picking up on the motor of the car. So you're getting a lot of motor sound.
Yeah.
So it was hard to decipher, but at the same time, some of those were crystal.
Oh, for sure.
Crystal clear. So
definitely.
So I definitely, yeah.
So, what do you have in store for us coming up?
Well, we got another short episode. Me, Amanda, Trey, we have the opportunity to go check out a park. And it has some weird stories behind it, like cannibals and changing steps and all these sorts of things that are just sort of like, could this be true? But at the same time, we've been out there once.
Right.
And we do know that, a couple of the things aren't true, but a couple are.
Right.
And obviously, this location has a local history to it. A lot of local people know about this location here in Nebraska. Same thing with the Seven Sisters Road.
Right.
And we have the opportunity to actually get something there. And we got that. And then we also got our recap for that video that we'll be doing. And then after that, we have a channel update, a big channel update. This channel update is unlike no other. This is going to be a Season 5 update, so it won't be on Shadow Radio, but it will be on Mystical Shadows 402 itself on the Season 5 playlist. This location that we're talking about, this next episode, will be our last location until February, because we have some big things going on sort of behind the scenes and with the channel. We really appreciate you guys being a part of the channel. We really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to check out this content. It means a ton to us. And we hope you guys appreciated our recap from our investigation from the Seven Sisters Road, because we appreciate each and every single one of you. With that being said, we will catch you next week from our investigation at the Hummel Park located in Omaha, Nebraska.